You cannot call him as a king because he doesn't wear a crown. You cannot call him as a princess because he is not less than king. And he is not the link between the god and the king. But I feel he's the link between the Lucifer and the king. I am talking about the Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video and the brand new Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally, the pinnacle of sports touring motorcycle, and today we are on it. I've been riding the motorcycle for a couple of days and I feel so bad that I'm not taking this motorcycle out of Bangalore, because in this time you can actually munch kilometers on this, and I really feel bad not to take this motorcycle out. But I have to say that I was riding this motorcycle as my daily use. Yeah, you heard it right. I was riding this big motorcycle inside city as well for my daily use for a couple of days, and I'm still riding on the highway, and I feel so happy to feature this motorcycle once again, I have to say, because a video on the Multistrada V4 and this one is a rally. So look at it, man. One of the most beautiful looking motorcycle out there, no doubt. The beak, and there is a radar which is seen over there, and the eyes feels so special, man. The look at that eyes, it feels like I don't say puppy because almost all the time motorcyclist says that the motorcycle eyes looks like puppy. This one is not like that, so it looks like a devil. But I really love it. I don't say a friendly devil, but you know, it has a lot of characteristics to a very aggressive person. That's the reason why I always have this analogy with the devil. And yeah, the spoke wheels, you can see that, so that's why rally, and completely adjustable suspension, and beautiful looking this panels, and there are heat dissipation fins over here, and the V4 engine, man, beautiful engine. It has a lot of character in it because the cylinder deactivation is there, and still it pumps out 150 plus bhp, and that too on the face. If you are not ready for it, yeah, you should consider putting onto one of the saner mode on this motorcycle when you ride it. And I feel a little sad that this doesn't comes with an Accra as a standard, but you have an option to switch it to a slip-on, which might be sounding a little more aggressive. But on this one, it's not so loud. While riding, the rider only get to feel that you are riding a MotoGP touring bike, because this one is the 1156cc Gran Turismo engine. It's not the Desmo Sedici anymore, like we have moved from that kind of a series of engine in the Multistrada. So this one has a lower seat height because here, like, the seat is modified, so it was actually quite tall for me in my previous video. So this one has a lower seat height, so I'm very comfortably riding this motorcycle around. And to be honest, I like the tail section of the older Multistrada, but this one also looks good. But that kind of a tail section really attracted me in the beginning. And yeah, man, what a beautiful looking motorcycle. So I don't want to stand like this and talk a lot. Let's go for the ride. So as you see, I don't have a complete planted foot, but I'm tiptoeing on both sides. That itself is a big thing. Keyless entry, one press, motorcycle starts. These lights are blind spot detectors. By the way, it comes with two radars, one in the front and one in the back, and that gives an intimation like whether there are any motorcycles or any other vehicle in the blind spots. And we are in the sport mode, so let me just walk you through the riding modes here. Sport, touring, enduro, urban. That's all. Sport is like full power, traction control is less, ABS is less, wheelie control is less. Touring has the same power, but it is a little more easy to ride. Enduro is definitely for the off-roads. By the way, I haven't done a lot of off-road on this motorcycle just because it's a little heavy. It's not too off-road centric motorcycle, but you can do soft-roading. Urban is the most saner one. It has power cut compared to the sport mode. So let's put on to the sport mode itself. And yeah, it's like basic switches over here, like a lot of switches, in the sense this is a suspension switch. You can actually adjust the suspension, so the seat height changes based on that. So a mode button is there, cruise control buttons, horn indicator, and this one actually is the joystick. And on the side, the typical Ducati kill switch. Let's crank it. $10,000 cutoff, red line, and post that 6,000, 7,000 RPM. It actually pulls like a missile. One thing is, I just filled fuel in this one, that's why full fuel. So the overall weight of the motorcycle is like around 270 kg. That means it is little on to a heavier side, but it doesn't feel heavier when we are riding it. But yeah, with the additional fuel, I'm like a little skeptic. But no, man, let's do it. V4 is like a raging bull. So it's full power mode. Look at that. You think of doing an overtake, you will get it. This is what I don't like, because people just simply come in front of you and they never give you away. Okay, it's okay. Let's talk about the engine now. So it's the V4 engine, the 1156cc Gran Turismo engine, which is essentially a MotoGP engine which has been invited for touring. So there are certain specialities for this engine compared to all other Ducati Multistrada which was there on sale previously. This one heats lesser, the heat dissipation is so good. That means literally you can live with this motorcycle inside city as well. I don't really say that you have to ride it inside city, but still, when you are out from the highway, I mean when you are coming back from a tour, if you want to come inside, you can do that comfortably. The previous Multistradas were not like that. It just heaps and boils your balls. So this one actually doesn't heat so much. That is one thing. And also it has cylinder deactivation technology. So what that means is it's a V4, so the rear two cylinders actually cuts the power, and it actually acts like a parallel twin and runs in a very smoother and saner way. One thing is it doesn't heat up a lot in that sense, and second thing is fuel efficiency. But the actual power and the actual fun of riding this motorcycle is putting onto the second gear, and man, this doesn't feel like a touring motorcycle. It's a hyper tour or a mad tour. See that, think of it, and you can do that. Triple digits in no time. You can comfortably do a 200 km/h cruising on this with no efforts. I have almost done a 240 km as my top speed, but yeah, I think still it can push a little more. But you know, unlike the Panigale V4, which is very much committed than this, the Panigale V4 actually goes beyond 300 km, but this one is not like that. It's a bit more tamed. That's why I told that it's a MotoGP engine which has been invited for touring with a little bit of modification. But the engine is super fun for this kind of an engine which works so powerful and so heavy underneath you, under the balls. I will say that it actually behaves much civilized. I never expect a Panigale engine to act like this when you are going for tour. So this one is actually a power cruiser. Even though the rider's triangle is much onto a comfortable side, it gives a little bit of sportiness. You know, Ducati doesn't comes with a non-sporting feel. It doesn't gives you a lame motorcycle at all. So that's why I like the brand Ducati. All motorcycles from that is like seriously mad. L-twins, V4s. That's one reason why I love Ducati. Previously I was not a fan of Ducati. Just by looking at it, like most of the people say that, oh, you watch MotoGP, you'll become a fan of Ducati. I'm not like that. I became a fan of motorcycles after riding it, and just after riding all the forms of Ducati motorcycles in India, I started getting a feel that yes, this is the aggressive side of me. And when I want to be non-aggressive, I go to the Japanese inline fours. So the rider's triangle is comfortable. It's almost set for a sports touring. So the handlebar is wide. It has racers. If you want to stand up and ride, that's also possible. You can see that. Oh man, it's too much of wind. I never know that this wind was there, because this particular windscreen was doing a great job. For my height, 5'6", this windscreen has the right point to disturb me with this edge, you know, because my line of sight is there and it actually keeps distracting me. So if I want, I can keep it like this, which gives me a little more wind protection. But the thing is, you know, I feel stuffy. I'm kind of a sports motorcycle guy, so I feel stuffy having this kind of a thing. So let me just put it back, and it is that easy to use, you know. Just press it, it goes down, and it do this, it comes up. Man, super braking. Like, you should have a finger on the brakes when you ride on this kind of a highway, but you know, the Ducati will never let you down. Comes with Brembo brakes. The front brake is amazing, the rear brake is amazing. The way the braking is, like, if you pump it, it's not again like the Panigale. I'm actually comparing this motorcycle a lot with the Panigale and not with the Versus or the S1000 XR, because you know this has a lot of things to do with the Ducati lineup itself. Like, let's not go to any Germans or Japanese for now, because it's too much on to the aggressive side of touring. So god damn it, that car was very close to me, that's why it is blinking. So the braking is like sports motorcycle, super sport braking, and you actually tap it, you will get it. And but it has a little bit of a softer side as well. That means a gradual braking, so that you don't end up throwing yourself out of the motorcycle while doing a panic braking. And also comes with all sorts of electronics that are pretty accurate. And rear brake is actually good for a little bit of tire locks when you are getting into the off-road sections. But I've never seen anyone who does a lot of off-roading on this motorcycle, to be honest. In India, I'm talking about India, not outside. Couple of things I feel is that the fairing actually is big. The motorcycle feels and looks so big from outside, and once you start riding it, you will have a different opinion about it. That's the same opinion I had when I was riding the Enduro, but I feel this motorcycle to be so much comfortable, because you know I love riding bigger motorcycles. I love the feel of riding a huge motorcycle, but you know the Enduro was very tall for me. Even the previous Multi V4 which I rode was also a tall motorcycle. This one has a lowered seat, which makes me to take this motorcycle anywhere I want. You know, it has become a part of my body, I have to say that. You think of it, you can do that on this motorcycle. And comes with a hell lot of electronics. The suspension is fully adjustable. You press on this suspension button, you can actually set it to complete auto leveling, or the rider plus passenger plus baggage, and rider plus baggage again, rider. So you have all those things. So I keep it on to auto leveling, and you know once you start riding, the suspension actually comes up. So when you stop, the suspension goes down, and when you comes from a stop, the suspension comes up. Very great for short riders. In fact, I feel this motorcycle will be very good for a tall rider, because you know, first of all, about the seat height, the stock seat height, and second thing, this motorcycle actually will be looking good for tall riders. I've seen few people having a very great pose on this motorcycle just because they are tall. You know, cruising on this motorcycle is just a piece of cake. You can do 160 or 200 or even 220 if you want. These are the speeds which I'm talking about, which are illegal in India, but still you can do that if you want. That's the kind of confidence you get out of it. And a lot of tech on this one. As I said, it has radar, so this one has the blind spot detectors. So if somebody is coming from the back side, and obviously not going to happen if you are riding fast, it happens only when you are riding slow. So yeah, you get blind spot detection, and you have adaptive cruise control. You can see that over here, so you can put it onto the cruise control. Let me just turn it on. So the cruise control is set now. Yeah, it is set now at 101 kilometer, 102 kilometers. So let's go to this lane. That car is actually going fast, so let me increase my speed. So it's an adaptive cruise control, that's the reason. So yeah, that car is actually going fast. So if that car actually decelerate, then this also decelerate. So it avoids collisions, getting inputs from that radar. So that is the adaptive cruise control. And man, look at this. Such a great motorcycle for touring, man. Don't do this. Yeah, this is the adaptive cruise control warning thing which you see over there. And I think we are going a little, yeah, it's reducing the speed. You see that? It is reducing the speed. I'm not doing anything. It has reduced the speed. So let me cut the cruise control, because I personally don't like the cruise control a lot, especially living in India. Cruise control is such a scary feature, because anything can come into the road anytime. And also one thing I observed is that you have to shift down if you are actually even riding in 100 or 120. I feel comfortable to switch into the 6th gear when it goes past this 120 mark. So that's fast it is. And also the quick shifter, man, the quick shifter works so slick. I love it. The good part is, unlike the Panigale V4 which I rode last time, the quick shifter on this one feels a little more tuned for lowerers as well. That means even if you are riding in slower speeds, the quick shifter responds to you well. Only thing is, when you do that shifting from 1 to 2, it just gives you a clutch, that jog feel. Otherwise it feels so nice. And to talk about the ownership of this, yeah, it comes with a heavy price bag, because a lot of tech features comes with a lot of money. So in that sense, this actually comes on road for 37 lakhs in Bangalore, which is a hell lot of money compared to the XR or the Versus and those kind of sports touring motorcycle. It is a huge lot of money. I don't want to really comment on that because definitely I don't say it's a value for money, but if you are someone who wanted to experience the most of the pinnacle of motorcycle, then I'll say you should actually have to ride it. You can actually buy multiple super bikes for this cost, but I'm not sure whether you'll get all the features you get on this one, and the kind of agility, man, this one feels hell lot different from many other so-called adventure motorcycle. I mean, adventure motorcycle has to be going long, but it shouldn't be always heavy, you know. So this ticks all the boxes that you can think of. So I'll say that it's like the heavy supercars of the motorcycle segment. So that's why this price tag. And this has a Gran Turismo engine, unlike the Desmo CDG engine that we have seen with the other Ducatis, the previous model of Multistradas. This goes for wall clearance checks once in 60,000 kilometers. So I guess the first owners will be happy on that, because generally people sell Ducati when it is nearing to a Desmo service. So Desmo is actually good. That's what I personally believe. We owning a Ducati that are having 20,000 or 25,000 kilometers Desmo service. My Ducati Desert actually runs beautifully well after my Desmo. It's costly, but the thing is you get a brand new motorcycle after that. So the service interval is once in 2 years or 15,000 kilometers, which is really good. If you are actually out on the highway, I'm pretty sure you don't want to stop this motorcycle. So 15,000 kilometers you'll cover in 6 months. And I was actually surprised to see that once in 2 years, because 15,000 is nothing, man. If you give me time, I can do that in like 3 months or 4 months. That's all. If I didn't had a job here and this is my job, I would just do that 15,000 kilometers on a highway, comfortably riding this. So that too in 2 years. I felt it to be a little sarcastic from Ducati side. And the one issue or the one scary part I see with this motorcycle is like, it's a heavy drinker, man. Heavy drinker means heavy drinker. It has a 30-liter tank, which is good, but the V4 engine brings a lot. I think it's a bottoms up guy, so the 30 liters are like 30 shots, like it's out. I was sometimes getting very poor mileage. I don't really compare for that, because this fuel efficiency is inversely proportional to the fun that you get on the motorcycle. I completely understand that fact, but it scares me out sometimes. And I felt good that okay, I'm filling a full tank of fuel, and after that I see that half tank. I mean, like, I did nothing, and the Ducati talks to me saying that you did nothing, you just did 200 to 240 on the highway, full pinning the throttle in the 6th gear, and you enjoyed it. So yeah, you pay for the enjoyment you had, and it's a pretty expensive enjoyment as well. So yeah, the fuel efficiency is a bit bad. The Ducati claims that it gets 15 to 22. 22 is like a dreamy figure for me. I really don't think that I could get 22, but 15 is a realistic value. And if you are opening it, yeah, most probably you might be getting sometimes bad mileage as well. Oh man, look at that. Proper MotoGP feel, man. I get this feel only on the V4. I've been on the inline 4s, the later classes, and even on the ZX14R as well. The ZX14R is one of my favorite motorcycle, but still, the punch that you get out of a V4, be the Aprilia or the Ducati, it's hell different. Like that initial surge, the if you have ridden the middleweight segment motorcycle 2 cylinders, you get to know that the 2 cylinder actually picks up really good and flats out on the top. This one is not like that. Whatever you get, that it just completely takes up to the higher rev ranges and take you onto a different state of high. I was feeling a little disappointed and depressed because of many other reasons yesterday. Then I just rode this motorcycle and I feel like I feel so good, man. I mean, this one is like that. It will make you aggressive if you are a person who are actually saner in life, a very soft person to others in your real life. This motorcycle will give you a different feel of riding it. I've seen that people who are actually very saner in life, they are not so softer when it comes to motorcycles. See that, man? If there was no wheelie control, it would have popped a wheelie in no time. Gets a hell lot of electronics, you know, cornering traction control, cornering ABS, wheelie control, that two different settings. You set your wheelie control and pop a wheelie and hold it over there. What a beautiful tech. By the way, I didn't dare to turn off the wheelie control. I know that it will pull even with the highest setting of the wheelie control. I was getting to know that the suspension has softened up a lot, and the front wheel is actually 1 millimeter above the ground level. So it's an adventure motorcycle. I don't want to risk it. That's why. So if you ask me, like, what is my verdict of this motorcycle, I'll say it's 100% true, fun-oriented, long riding motorcycle. Definitely a touring motorcycle. It's not just a sports touring, it's like a hyper touring motorcycle. The possible competitors for this motorcycle, when we just see the sports touring segment, is the Versus 1000 and the BMW S1000 XR. So the Versus is actually like an Innova, you know. You see the Innova, it's just a comfortable sofa. You just sit on it and you just ride it and go, that's all. And the S1000RR is fully tech loaded. You have a lot of control, and it gives you an inline 4 feel, the 1000RR feel, and then you ride it on the road. But when it comes to here, you actually have that agility of the BMW, and you get the MotoGP engine feel as well. So, you know, it's partly a devil. The V-Force, I feel it like a part of a devil. Never gonna disappoint this when you go out on highways. So it's not a motorcycle for so-called saner riders out there, but if you are someone who enjoys super sport and you're actually retiring from the super sport, this one is for you. Beat any multi V4. Needn't be the rally version. The rally version is a little more off-road centric, that you can actually take it anywhere. So that's it. That's my take on the Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally, and I'm really happy to ride this motorcycle for this long. I've been like enjoying this motorcycle. I have it till tomorrow. I know whether I should go for a tour. Today I'll just go like this and I can come back tomorrow. It is like a no planner motorcycle, you know. You go anywhere, just make sure that you're not actually messing up with any of the sensors by falling from the motorcycle. I'm pretty sure it won't happen as well, but still I'm saying that. Pretty comfortable to ride in this speed as well. Now the rear cylinder will get deactivated. Yeah, now it sounds like a 2-cylinder. The rear cylinders are deactivated, that's why it is not so loud. And if you want to make it on, just rev it high, you will get it. So it is in 2-cylinder now. You have a small gap. Crazy, right? And also this looks so nice. I really love the way how it looks. Beautiful looking motorcycle, no doubt, no doubt. So that's my take on the Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally. I hope this video is helpful for you. If so, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.